pride never deserts him. But with the rich, he is liberal-minded, just, sincere, rational, honourable, and perhaps agreeable. Money is a mere trifle, and begged she would not make herself uneasy.
Hello friends, welcome here or welcome back to another video, and it's a special video because I'm going to be doing a reading vlog this week, and it's for a book that I've been really looking forward to diving into for a long time now. It's the first book by this author. No, that's a bit of a lie actually, but it's the first trilogy by this author that I'm reading, and I'm so excited to get into the meat of it. So in this vlog, I'm going to be reading the first book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, which is The Final Empire. And I've only ever read one other book by this author, which also takes place in the Cosmere, which is kind of the universe that encapsulates a lot of Brandon Sanderson's books. But the only other book that I've read by this author is Tress of the Emerald Sea, which I absolutely loved. I felt like I really got a sense of if I would have enjoyed the longer books by Brandon Sanderson, and I absolutely loved. I will leave a link to a reading vlog that I did for that video up here. But yes, in this video, I'm going to be working my way through this chunky book. I'm so excited. From what I know, it is a heist story that's like set in a high fantasy setting, and I mean, that just sounds incredible to me already. But yeah, I'm going to be diving into this evening and making a start with it. As you can possibly tell, I've just come in from work for the day. It was a good day at work today, but very busy. So I'm really looking forward to a cozy evening in. I've got lots of reading on the agenda. We're going to make some dinner. I think George and I might start watching Severance as well, or possibly play some video games. Not 100% sure, but I'm really looking forward to cozying up for this evening and for the upcoming week and diving into The Final Empire and keeping you up to date with all of my thoughts about it. I just watched that clip back and I am mortified at the state of my hair in that clip. Why did I not think to brush it before filming? I don't know. It's been a long day. Anyway, moving forwards, please forgive me the error of my ways. I will endeavour to remember going forwards in this reading vlog to brush my hair. Friends, it is the next day and I have a little reading update for you. So far in The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, we've been introduced in the first 70 pages to quite a few big elements that I feel are gonna propel the story, but also set us up really well for the upcoming trilogy. Because this is a high fantasy book, for me as a reader, I really appreciate when an author takes their time to really let you understand the universe that the story is existing in. And I think Brandon Sanderson is doing a really good job of this. So where to begin? Firstly, this book is existing in this kind of dystopian empire, if you will. It is an empire that is surrounded by mist, as the Mistborn trilogy name might suggest, but also that this mist has really mysterious properties or qualities, or at least perceived mystery to them by the people who live in the city. And within this world is a really distinct hierarchy. So right at the top there is the Lord Ruler, who is kind of this, from the sounds of it, almost godlike figure. They are like just seeking just absolute power and ruling with terror. And then within that are these two subsects, if you will. So on one hand you have the nobility, which are the people that are favoured by the Lord Ruler, and then there is another group of people which are enslaved by these people, and they are called the Scar. The Scar are the people that we are introduced to first, so it's their perspective that I'm kind of reading through, or that we're reading through. And this is a separation that has existed for over 1,000 years. And during this time, obviously the Scar have tried to rebel, they've tried to plan revolts, but they've all failed. And now that I'm 70 pages in, I think that I have figured out, despite the multiple perspectives, who I think the two protagonists are going to be for this book. The first of which is Kelsier, who is a traveling Scar. He is someone who is kind of revered and feared, and is just this very mysterious man who the Scar don't necessarily completely trust, but do have some degree of respect and reverence for. And it transpires that he is an escapee from the pits, which is this really horrendous prison where nobody is meant to escape. People are meant to just perish there. But he has managed to get out, and he is also able to exist within the mist. And it's probably worth saying that the mist in this series is seen as something which is, as you might expect, can hide things and is mysterious and holds secrets, it feels like, and is mistrusted, especially by the Scar, but by the general folk, the general people that exist in this world. And he is someone that is able to go into the mist and doesn't fear it, it seems. Then we also have our secondary character that we've been introduced to, which is a young woman called Vin, who has been brought up on the streets as a kind of street urchin and has found her way into an underground crime circle. And she has been allowed to exist within this circle despite people not particularly liking her. She is very lovely. I'm already rooting for her massively. But she has kind of been allowed to exist within these circles because of what she calls her luck. And this is her ability to kind of infiltrate people's minds and manipulate, I suppose, how they feel towards certain things, which obviously comes in super handy as people who are con artists or trying to scam people to make people feel at ease or more willing to part with money or agree to certain terms. And so she's kind of seen within this crime group as a good luck charm, even though they don't really know why, and she certainly has no idea why. And then we enter Kelsier, and the two of them meet, and he reveals to her that she is using allomancy, which is the magic system in this series, which is the ability to use metals and to hone the power of metals to create different outcomes. And it transpires that this is a really rare gift, and it's a gift that makes people refer to people like her as Mistborns. So these are people that are able to do multiple things using multiple metals to have different effects. So, and this is metal that has to be within the body. So she's been using like trace amounts of metals to inspire the way that people react to her. When she then understands that she can ingest material and get massive results, her whole world is kind of thrown upside down. And so she finds herself kind of signing up to a heist almost, something that is going to kind of change the fate of the city for forever, basically. I think all that's really important to say is that I'm really enjoying the book so far. I am really enjoying our two protagonists. I think Vin especially is going to be someone who I'm so excited to follow their story and see where she goes from here, because there are so many routes that she could go down. I'm excited to find out about Kelsier's backstory. I feel like he has so much that we don't know about yet as readers. I'm excited to learn about the mist and the power that the metals have and learn more about the magic system. I'm really excited to learn about what the heist is going to be, about all of these people coming together, what's going to happen. And moreover, I think that the setting for this is so unique, and I'm just excited to learn more and more about it. I feel like we are probably going to exit the city towards the end of the book. Could be wrong about that, but yes, I'm really, really enjoying this foray into Brandon Sanderson, and this is unlike any fantasy book I've read before. Yeah, it is a little bit of a slow going read at the moment, but as I said, this is quite new to me as a concept. And so I do actually appreciate when a writer sits down and really explains the fundamentals of what's happening, because I feel like this is going to set me up perfectly for the upcoming trilogy. So without further ado, I'm going to start rambling. We've got a very cozy day planned here, and it's not a particularly nice day outside, so I do plan on reading a good chunk of my book today, probably watch some TV at some point, do a few jobs around the house, and then this evening actually we are going to go meet up with some friends and we're going to go bowling. So it's going to hopefully be a very cozy, relaxed day, and I cannot wait. So without further ado, I'm going to go drink my tea and read my book and stop nattering on and on and on. I'm making a very cheeky little decaf coffee situation. And now we are going to sit on the couch, read more, enjoy our leftover pizza, and have a wonderful time. Hello friends, I have just finished work for the day. It's just gone 5 p.m, so I think I'm gonna make a start on dinner. No idea what I'm making yet. That's part one, to be decided. And then I'm hoping it's something that I can just leave alone for a long amount of time and make some good headway with the final empire. I am currently on 170 pages and it's proving to be a little bit of a slow burn. I think I still stand by what I said earlier, that I'm enjoying being introduced to everything happening in the world at its own pace. It doesn't feel rushed, but it is feeling slightly repetitive at times, and I think Brandon Sanderson is just making sure that you really understand the physics of what's happening, or how the magic system is working, so that as you progress throughout the story you become less reliant on him explaining everything, and you can just kind of understand from terminology what is happening in the scene. That's the only thing that I'm thinking is why he's doing this, because if this continues the entire way through the book, I think it's going to feel really tiresome really quickly, but we will wait and find out. I'm really enjoying the characterization of Vin. She seems like this really scared, vulnerable young woman, and it's so nice to be able to see her begin to trust people. I don't know whether we should be trusting these people yet, to be perfectly honest, but it's nice to see her develop as a character and to see her become more confident in her abilities and trust herself. I feel like it's nice to see that progression in her characterization, and I'm just enjoying the character dynamic between Kelsier and Vin in particular. I've also just been introduced to Sazed. I'm uncertain on how to pronounce the name, but I think he's such a sweet, funny character, and I really like that he's like this gentlemanly figure. I think that's going to be really fun. I hope that he sticks around in the books, and I hope that he is as nice as I am led to believe at this moment in time. Yeah, I'm having a good time so far, and I can't wait to sit down and crack on with a little bit more reading. And now we wait. I was craving spaghetti bolognese or something of that nature, and this is my vegetarian equivalent. Missing a few things, but I think it's going to taste delicious, and I can let that bubble away, do some washing up, and then hopefully read for a little bit before dinner is ready. Hello friends, it is much later now. I don't really have a reading update for you, but I do have something that I want to share with you very quickly because I'm getting ready for bed, as you can probably tell. And a few of you have asked about my hair routine, and seeing as though I washed my hair this evening, I thought I would very quickly talk you through what I do. It's super simple. So firstly, what I wash and condition my hair with, I use the Garnier Ultimate Blends coconut oil and cocoa butter range. I wash my hair twice with the shampoo, condition, leave it on for a bit, wash it off at the end of my shower, and then I just let my hair air dry for 3 hours or so. And after I wash my hair in the evening, I like to set my overnight curls for the next 3 days basically. I just use a fabric headband. I use 2 little claw clips, but you don't need these necessarily, and 1 larger claw clip, and that's all I use. So I start with clean hair and I split it down the middle, and then I put the headband on the top of my head like this, like a little crown, and then I take 1 piece on either side, like this much, and I wrap it around and through, and then I just use one of these little clips to keep it in place, and it's just to keep this part at the front of my head. I repeat the same, secure it so that if I move my head, it's not going anywhere. And then I just pick up other sections of hair and I wrap it around like this. Turn around maybe so you can see better. And then I take my larger clip and secure it, and then I do the same on the other side. And then to secure it, I just move this clip so it's holding both sides, like this. So it holds both ends of the hair that's up. It's not moving around. Very fetching. And then I just take out the little bits at the top, and that's it. That's how I do my overnight curls. I just sleep in them like this. I don't sleep on my back, so this doesn't really cause a problem. I don't know what I would do if I did. Can't help you there, I'm afraid. But that's it. I'm gonna brush my teeth and go to bed, and please ignore the wallpaper that's falling down. I'm gonna fix it soon. I am officially at the halfway mark with the Final Empire, and I'm having a delightful time. My concerns that I had previously, I think in the previous clip actually, about it feeling drawn out have been unfounded thus far. We've had our first training sequences, we've had our first fight sequence, and we've also had the introduction into the lifestyle of the nobility, and Vin's been to her first ball, and I don't know whether I'm alone in this, but I am finding it so refreshing to have a male author talk about the female experience. And what I mean by that is that Vin is someone who has always put her femininity to the side because it's been viewed as a thing of weakness. And in this book, she is using this different side of herself to become more powerful. I don't think I'm doing a particularly good job of explaining what I mean, but it's so refreshing to me to have a female character stepping into their femininity, and that to not be seen as frivolous, for the character to not seem shallow for enjoying being feminine. I don't know, I find that oddly refreshing, and it brings me a lot of joy to read about a female character that is not just revered in the story for her street smarts and her resilience and her kind of technical abilities, her physical abilities, but also for being a woman and all of the ways that she's able to be a woman. And to have it written by a man, and that to still come through is just really nice, because it's not sexualizing her as a character, it's acknowledging that she can have this other side of her, that she is a multi-layered, complex character and person, and that is just, I don't know, I'm thankful for that. The bar is quite low, clearly, but yeah, I'm having a great time so far, and we're starting to see an increase in the amount of action sequences, which I'm thankful for, because if we were going to continue at the steady rate we were before, I think I would very quickly lose interest. So I'm excited to see an increase in those action sequences. I think that's probably going to help propel the story more and more and more. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying where this is going so far. Right now though, we are just getting ready to head out for the day. We're going to do a little bit of book browsing, a little bit of shopping, I think. We've got some errands to run as well. Grab a cheeky little coffee and a baked good, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I'm going to quickly have some breakfast, and I'll take you out and about with us today. You might not believe that we've actually returned, because I filmed exactly one clip, which I'll put here, of when we were in a bookshop and got too excited whilst we were out to film anything else. But to make it up to you, we thought we would do a little book haul, because as you can see, we've been busy finding some excellent reads. So I'm going to start us off with Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is the first book in the Farseer trilogy, and I feel like it is necessary reading for anybody that loves fantasy. And so this is the year that I'm starting to actually read the books that kind of make up
the fantasy
genre.
canon, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. And this has been recommended by so many people, including George, and I thought that this would be the year to start, especially because I'm so enjoying The Final Empire, but I want something that's a bit different. Yeah, I'm excited to read this in a bit, and I like that it's not as chunky as a lot of the high fantasy books are. This feels like a good portable read, and there are so many other books to come after this, so yeah, I'm excited.
Even just in that sequence, there's like 9, I think.
Yeah,
like
something
3
like
separate
that.
Trilogies.
Yeah.
And then there's like spin-off trilogies as well for a total of, I want to say like 12 books.
I feel like
in that world.
This is the one that I've been told to start with, but the Live Ship Traders series I think is the one that I'm going to be most excited to read, because that's set on a ship. That was my pick. That's what I treated myself to today. And then over to you, George. Would you like to take a pick of one of your 4 books?
I went a bit crazy.
It was so hard to resist. They had so many good ones today, to be fair.
Yeah, and I had some book tokens to spend. I wouldn't normally go this buck wild in the bookshop, but I couldn't help it.
Should we do fiction first?
Yeah. So I've been in the mood for a nice chunky fantasy book that I can really just
sink your teeth into.
Something action packed, and I just want
a good story,
fantasy romp, preferably long, because I really love when you find a nice long fantasy book that is amazing. And so I settled on your suggestion.
Yeah.
Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff.
I've not read this, so this was purely based on the blurb, and I just thought it was something that sounded very up your alley.
Yeah.
It has these like illustrations and little doodads that just make it seem like it's going to be a fun time. Also got endorsements from Joe Abercrombie and Robin Hobb. Some of your faves.
Some of my faves, yeah.
So I'm excited for you to read that.
I'm excited. I am nervous about the text in this book is about as small as I've ever seen.
It is ridiculous.
It's a huge, great, big, bloody book masquerading as a just big book. I think this could easily be over like 1,000 pages if it was normal size print. So I think my eyes are gonna hurt. But if it's good, it's good. I really love a nice long, just fantasy.
And then the next one we actually kind of picked out together.
Because I have the book tokens, I went hardcover. Sarah pointed this one out to me.
I've been hearing excellent things about Watermoon, which is this like very dreamy, slightly whimsical-esque storyline. It is a fantasy book, but it's more of like a
Sounds like it's sort of treading that line between fantasy and magical realism.
Exactly. You've read a lot more of that kind of fiction, of more like surreal, dreamlike.
I do like
stuff.
a bit of Japanese magical realism, as the next book I'll reveal will indicate, but we'll get into that later. But that is a genre I do like, so we're both pretty excited about this one, I think.
And if you haven't heard anything about Watermoon, this is a book about our main character who takes over a pawn shop, but it's not any pawn shop, it's a pawn shop where people can go and trade their regrets, I think.
It's PAWN.
Life choices and deepest regrets. And when she takes on the shop from her father goes missing, and it's up to her and one particular customer that comes in for them to go to this kind of dreamlike world and retrieve him and find him. And yeah, it sounded like a good time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited for us to discuss this as well, actually.
Felix, then we have some, I like to think, some pretty groundbreaking discussions.
Our mini book club.
Yeah, it's our 2-person book club.
Yeah. Want to talk us through the non-fiction books that you picked up?
Next book is a non-fiction by Haruki Murakami, who I know is a very controversial author these days. But when I was a younger man, a teenager even, his books did really speak to me. I now recognise there's some discussions to be had about the role of women in his novels, and I'm happy to have those discussions.
Yeah.
But he occupies a special place in my heart as a novelist.
Yeah.
And so I picked up his book on novel writing, as a novelist as a vocation, it's called.
Yeah.
So it's non-fiction, it's him talking about his life writing books. However, controversial he might be, he is one of the world's best-selling authors. In so many different languages, so I think it's probably worth listening to what he's got to say. And then this one was kind of just a shot in the dark. I read a non-fiction book recently called Material World, which I would highly recommend, and I want to kind of keep on that non-fiction sort of hype. So I picked up The City of Today is a Dying Thing by Des Fitzgerald. Sounds like it's
it looks really interesting, actually.
Yeah, I was taken in by the cover. I like the cover. Quite fun, quite open exploration of cities and how they come to be, where they're going. Looks like there's the central premise is going to be discussing whether cities are a good or a bad thing. Sounds very broad.
Yeah.
I've just done my non-fiction dose for the month, so that's probably going to be a couple weeks before I read that.
But it seems a bit more digestible than perhaps the last book that you read.
Material World, like I said, very good, but a bit thick, a bit of a slog towards the end of it, but very interesting. I would recommend it to anyone who wants to learn more about mining. That's nice. The haul, right? That's it.
So
should give them the full stack.
Proud owners.
There's the thumbnail.
We're gonna just hang out for the afternoon and maybe read and watch some TV, play video games.
Well, now I'm desperate to finish the current book I'm reading so I can move on.
All right, we're gonna stop yapping.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
See you in a bit. Good evening, friends. I'm having a little chocky treat, and I am officially 80% of the way through The Final Empire. I didn't vlog for the last 200 pages just because it was kind of more of the same. It was a lot of getting to know the characters in more depth and then starting to see a build-up of tension between the different characters, between the different political factions and things like that. But I feel like a lot has happened, but at quite a glacial pace. Glacial is probably being a bit harsh, but it's not been particularly quick. But again, I'm finding it difficult to criticize the pacing despite the fact that I'm really ready for it to amp up. And I'm a little bit concerned because I do only have about 100 pages left, which means that these 100 pages are probably going to be absolutely bombastic. But I'm quite looking forward to that because we are reaching the point in the storyline where that's the only thing that makes sense to happen. I feel like we've been building the groundwork so steadily in the past 500 pages. I want it to stop building at this point, and I just want the end sequence to begin. And I do feel like we've initiated the end sequence, which is exciting. I've really enjoyed getting to know kind of the rest of the crew members in the more recent pages. And I really love seeing their relationship with Vin. They all have very different relationships with Vin. As ever, Vin is just so endearing as a character. I'm so rooting for her. I really want her to have a happy ending. I do feel like we are set up for some sort of tragedy, and that is going to be a bit heartbreaking because I do love every single character that's on her crew. I do think that they're all just so fantastic as characters, and I really love how kind of much of a family they are and how invested I am in them as characters, and I think that is definitely just testament to Brandon Sanderson's character work. I'm just having a fantastic time reading this, and I'm going to sit down now and read a bit more. Good morning, you guys. So many things happened in the Final Empire last night. My god, I don't even know where to begin. I only have a few pages left, and I truly don't know what's around the corner. Anything could happen. Every single time I think I know what's going on in this book, it pivots. It's impressive, and because it's so intriguing, like, I'm not even annoyed by it. I'm like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Wow, Brandon, slow down. Every few pages at this point. I'm having a great time. There's some romance coming to the forefront again. We've had huge duel sequences, like really intense moments. We've had the crew coming together. I know I said I thought that the final sequence had been initiated. I was wrong. I think now the final sequence is about to be initiated, and I truly don't know what to expect, but I'm excited about it. So we're going to take a little breather this morning. As you can tell, I'm having a time, and we're going to get out in the sunshine. We're going to go for a little walk, and then my plan, come back, make myself a little coffee, probably decaf, because let's face it, I don't need to be hyped up anymore right now. And then we're going to sit and finish the Final Empire, and the next time you see me, I will have read the entire book, and I can assure you I'm going to have thoughts and feelings about it. So I will see you then. Oh boy. It's done. I've officially finished the Final Empire, and oh my goodness, I was not disappointed by that ending whatsoever. I know I told you guys that I was expecting the ending to be incredibly intensive, but I truly don't think I could have anticipated so many twists and turns, not only throughout the final kind of 50 pages of the book, not even throughout the 100 last pages, but the 50 last pages, and then the 20 last pages, and then the whole entire way up until that as well. Like, every single time, Brandon got me good. Every single time. Honestly, I'm so impressed. The ending was really, really propulsive and kept me so engaged. And it was also a really fulfilling ending. It was a really meaty, and just everything that I wanted in the ending was in the ending. And then it also kind of went beyond that as well. We had a really, really good resolution for the plot, for the story, for this particular book. And we got lots of the questions that have been cropping up throughout the book kind of answered, or somewhat answered, to a point where I felt really happy with that. But then at the end, he still expands the universe, he expands the story in a way that, again, just makes it so intriguing. And I'm so excited to pick up the next book in this trilogy. I truly have loved every single page of this book. I think if you are wanting to get into high fantasy, this is a really good place to start. Even though it might be a little bit daunting because of how chunky it is, the writing style is super approachable. And just based on how much everything is continually explained and expanded upon, you're not thrown into the deep really at all. So that's probably really helpful if you're wanting to read a new genre as well. This is unlike any fantasy novel that I've ever read before. I mean, the heist premise was what really drew me in, but honestly it kind of devolves from that quite quickly, and it evolves into this beautiful, empowering story about this crew that are family. It is really like, that is the core of the book for me, is this trope of found family, and just they are the heart of the book. And that's my favorite element of the book. The magic system is really, really cool and experimental, but it makes total sense in universe, and the political aspects of the book are really intriguing. This whole landscape is so complex and enveloping, and it's just such a good time. But at the heart of it, the book is about people and it's about relationships, and it just feels so human. It's this like grounding force through all of these crazy, chaotic happenings. And as you can probably tell, I cannot speak highly enough of this book. I can't believe that I just put off reading this for so long. And if you're doing the same, don't put it off anymore. Please pick it up and read it. I think you will be so pleasantly surprised. But anyway, I've really enjoyed reading this, and I've really enjoyed taking you guys along with me for the journey. So I really hope that you have enjoyed today's reading vlog. Thank you so much for being here, friends. Take care, and I will see you very soon in another video. Goodbye.